الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So we're still in Hadith Jibreel, Islam, Iman and Ihsan. And last time we talked about the pillars of Islam. We talked about the Shahada, then the Salah. Then previous lecture is about Zakat. I want to say before we start, Zakat has a lot of rules. If you want to educate yourself in that, just you can go and take a short course in Zakat. I have a long series in fiqh, still going in Masjid al-Furqan. You can find in YouTube. Till now 19 lessons, and we now still in Zakat. We covered the purification, then the Salah, now Zakat, and we'll go on to the marriage issues, financial transaction, and all of this. What I want to emphasize in Zakat before I go to Sawm is number one, the recipients of the Zakat. Zakat in Islam, majority for poor people. However, not just for poor people. For example, you can give Zakat as Allah said, لِلْمُؤَلَّفَةِ قُلُوبُهُمْ. What does that mean? It means someone who is non-Muslim and he is interested in Islam. You always ask about Islam, you try to search, but he's not Muslim yet. This type of people, you can give them from the Zakah. Or a new Muslim who just convert to Islam, so also we can give them money from the Zakah. Bear in mind that non-Muslims, we can give them from the volunteer charity. But Zakat has specific recipients. Any non-Muslim, you can give them from your money, absolutely. But in Islam, we divided the money to two types, voluntary charity and obligatory charity, which is Zakah. From the voluntary, you can give to anyone. From the obligatory, Islam has priority. So that's why if there is a specific recipients, either one who just convert or one who interested in Islam, you can give. Even he is rich, not because he is poor. I hope this is clear. Another recipients in Islam also, in Zakat, is someone who has debts. If someone has a job and has his own car and salary, however he has a debt, that debt makes his life difficult. So this Allah said, Al-Gharimin, you can give them from the Zakah. Another recipients, Fi Sabilillah. In our modern time, any projects that will help in Western country to save the faith of our generation, this is Fi Sabilillah. For example, if you know someone who is good to deliver Islam, you can say to that man or woman, okay, I will give that money as a waqf. If you want to do any projects, but dedicate your time for this mission, you can give him from Zakah or her from Zakah. Another also recipient, which now we can't find it nowadays, it's rare, Ibn Sabil. Sabil is the road. Ibn is son. If you translate it literally, is the son of the road. But it doesn't mean that. It means someone who traveled to another country and he lost his money in that new country. That's in the past. So Muslims should give that person a money, then he can travel back to his home. Anyone can give him back to travel to his home. That's called Ibn Sabil. That's another recipient. Even he is rich in back home, but he just wants money to travel. Nowadays it's rare because Everyone carry his Visa card. But in the past, that's Ibn al-Sabil. Second point, before we leave zakah, you can't give zakat to your parents, your children, and your wife. There's a consensus between scholars. You can't give zakat to your wife, your father, mother, and children. Why? Because if they need money, you have to give them from your own money, not from zakah. So you are the one who is responsible to provide stuff for your wife, for your children, for your parents if they are poor. So that's why you can't give them from zakat. The relatives, that's a discussion between scholars, but majority of scholars, yes. If your brother, for example, is married and he has a debt, you can give him from your zakah. That's main issues of zakat. And we just remind you again that zakat is from purification. When you give zakat, Allah will put barakah in your money, put barakah in your health, in your wealth, put barakah in the society. That's the zakah. The third pillar of Islam. The fourth pillar of Islam is fasting, as-sawm, fasting Ramadan. You all know this pillar, the fasting Ramadan. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said in the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Say before that, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, oh you believe, كتب عليكم الصيام. Siyam is become obligatory for you. كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم, as is prescribed to the people before you. لعلكم تتقون. Then the purpose behind fasting Ramadan is to gain taqwa. That's the purpose. And then, so, the first point we mention here is fasting is not an act. It's just to stop yourself from eating, drinking, or desire with your wife. Stop yourself from something. So, fasting is not like other pillars. All other pillars is some action you do or saying you utter. Except siyam, there's nothing. You just stop yourself from eating and drinking. Which is the main purpose here is self-discipline. Allah Almighty wants to test if we can control our desires and sacrifice everything in His sake. That's the main goal here. And that's what taqwa is. So that's why just stop eating, drinking in a certain hours, and you can't also touch your wife in that certain hours. And that's the siyam from the Fajr till Maghrib. Fasting is in Hijri calendar. In the moon, not depend to the sun. That's why, because Hijri calendar is depend to the moon, but our calendar now is depend to the sun. And the difference here is, you will fast in the all seasons of the year. Suppose we go to the different calendar, and the fasting is on August. It means every time we know August has a specific, type of temperature. But when you go to Hijri calendar, Ramadan sometimes in August, sometimes in December, sometimes in February, sometimes March. So sometimes in the summer, sometimes in the winter. Then Allah will test us in all these seasons. Sometimes in the hot, sometimes in the cold. And Alhamdulillah, Ramadan now every year is come close to the winter. That's a good news for Muslim in Britain here. That usually in the summer we used to fast around 19 hours. In June, time will come, Salatul Maghrib will be 4 o'clock. That's why I encourage all the masajid here to make Taraweeh a bit longer. They always excuse, oh, we don't have time, Isha is closed. We will see, inshallah, if they make longer. So you should take benefit of this. Fasting, Allah said, I will go through the ayat of Siyam in Surah Al-Baqarah. Because Allah mentioned the fasting of Ramadan only one time in Quran. He never repeat the issue of fasting Ramadan in Quran. Only one time in Surah Al-Baqarah. 5 or 6 verses. Why I say 5 or? Because some scholars say 5, some say 6. And I support the opinion of 6. What's that extra ayah that the scholars differ if it's from Siyam or not? We'll come to it. It's from 183 in Surah Al-Baqarah to 188, 183, 84, 85, 86, 87, and 88. 183, the first ayah. It talk about that Siyam become obligatory among you, and there is a purpose behind the fasting, which is taqwa. In Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah mentioned the first call, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, u'budu rabbakum, worship your Lord. الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم, who created you and those before you. لعلكم تتقون, and you gain taqwa. Please focus on with me in these 2 minutes. Very important point. Surah Al-Baqarah, he says, worship Allah, then you may gain taqwa. And in all Surah Al-Baqarah, he will remove worship and put one example. Fast, then you may gain taqwa. Go to Hajj, may gain taqwa. Be good to your wife, to your spouse, and you will gain taqwa. Be honest when you deal with transactions, financial transaction, gain taqwa. Surah Al-Baqarah is about this. Why these 2 terms? Worship, then you will gain taqwa. We can derive 2 fundamental points in our deen when we come to the ibadah. Point number 1. Every ibadah, every act of worship has 2 dimensions. Physical dimension and spiritual dimension. Every act of worship has a form and spirit. What does that mean? When you come to the salah, for example, when you pray, you go to ruku', to sujood, you say Subhana Rabbi al-Ala, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, Assalamu alaikum. All these saying or actions, it's just the physical dimension of salah. The spiritual dimension is, where is your heart when you do these actions or say these words? That's the spiritual one. Allah said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Taqwa is the spiritual dimension. Ibadah is the physical dimension. So when you worship Allah, pay attention to the spiritual dimension. Don't think ibadah is just some actions you do by your body. You pray, where are you? You calculate your business. You think about the wedding next month. You think about the meeting after 1 hour. You think about why that man hate me. He looked me in a different way. You think about everything except salah. It means you pray by your body. not by your heart. It means you're just in the physical dimension, not the spiritual one. And all the example, when you recite the Quran, you may recite it and your heart is different way. But when you focus, try to know the meaning, that's where the dimension and physical become together. You can make dua because you memorize the words, but where's your heart? So Allah in Surah Al-Baqarah, in the first call, He wants to emphasize that your reward is according to your spiritual dimension. You may pray for 10 years and you get 0 reward. Because only your body is pray, your heart never pray. That's point number 1. That's the concept number 1 in ibadah. Concept number 2, when he said, عبودوا لعلكم تتقون, fast لعلكم تتقون, go to Hajj, he wants to tell us that ibadah is in everything in this life. Ibadah cover the all aspects of life. What does that mean? Some Muslims, they think that ibadah is just when I pray, I fast, maybe go to Hajj, give zakat, that's it. But when they deal with people, they become different type of character. There's a big problem here. Because when Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah will ask you, how was your prayer? And He also will ask you, how did you deal with your spouse? How did you deal with your parents? How did you treat your friends? Exactly. He will ask you about salah and ask about this. Both ibadah, both type of worship. But some people, they want to pick and choose. I choose salah because salah is easy for me. I will humble myself before my Lord. But when I deal with people, no. I will never humble myself to them. I will never forgive them. I will never. You see, now the arrogance, the ego come when you deal with people. Allah said, you are servant of Allah. Whatever Allah said, you should say, سمعنا وأطعنا. Don't pick and choose. That's the second fundamental concept. And it's very important that you can find some people nowadays, they pray. I know some men, they pray in the first line in the mosque. 5 prayers. They never miss the first line. And they went to Umrah multiple times during the year. Every year they perform Hajj. But they have one problem. They have some companies, very wealthy people, and they brought some employees, not in these countries, brought some employees, give them very under the minimum wage. 5 months, they don't give the employees 1 penny. One day, these employees, they complain, all of them. The owner of that company, he just canceled the contracts and sent them back to their country. He prayed in the first line in masjid. There's a big problem here. There's a lack of understanding. We thought that ibadah is between me and my Lord. Dealing with people, that's up to me. The thing is, Rasulullah told us, this could be a serious problem in the akhirah. That one day he said to his companions, أَتَدْرُونَ مَنِ الْمُفْلِسِ? Do you know who's the bankrupt person? They said, the bankrupt is the one who doesn't have money or property. He said, no, the bankrupt from my ummah is the one who will come in the day of judgment. بِصَلَاةٍ وَزَكَاةٍ وَصِيَامٍ. He will brought a lot of good deeds. He prays 5 times a day. He gives zakat every year. He fasts every Ramadan. However, when he deals with people, he hurt them, he abused them, deceive them, cheat. When he become a partner in any business, he will cheat in that business, he will steal the money. What will happen in the day of judgment? Allah will bring that person and he will see a long queue of people waiting for him or her. That long queue is those people you abuse and hurt in dunya. They want their money or their haqq. You don't have money that time. That time only one currency, deeds. So they will take from your good deeds in a time you need just one good deeds. If you hurt a lot of people, they could take all your good deeds, and there's still one or two in the queue. Almighty will say to them, take from your bad deeds and put on his or her shoulder. That's a serious problem. So that's the second concept of ibadah. Ibadah is everything. Now when it comes to siyam, he said, fast, then may you gain taqwa. It means fast, sometimes some people fast physical dimension. Why they fast? Because they are Muslims and my parents fast, so I used to fast. What does fasting mean? No clue, no idea. It's just to stop eating and drinking. During the day, he hurt people, he backbite a lot. So where's the fasting then? Where's the spiritual dimension? That's where the taqwa is. Rasulullah sallallahu من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة في أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. If you don't stop, act badly with people and say bad words and all of this during the fasting, so there is no need to fast. Because fasting is not physical dimension only. Fasting has lessons behind it. To control ourselves, control our desire, learn self-discipline, to come close to our Lord. So that's the ayah number 1. Ayah number 2, أياما معدودات. Ayah number 2, أياما معدودات. فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر. Allah said fasting is not all the year, just 1 month. And that's for your benefit. It's intensive course to come close to your Lord. And then he said, out of his mercy, if any one of you is ill or traveler, then he could break the fasting and make up this fast after that. So fasting is not obligatory for anyone who is ill or anyone who is in traveling. That's obvious for all of you. But there is one issue, confused some Muslims. They said, if I travel from here to Morocco, do I have to break my fasting? No, you don't have to break. You can fast during the traveling. Just option. Allah gave you option. If you don't want to break and fasting is easy and traveling is easy for you, you can keep your fasting. Some people confuse because they heard that one hadith, ليس من البر الصيام في السفر. One day a man came to me and said, I heard a hadith opposite to what you say. What's that? So in Bukhari, ليس من البر, it's not from good deeds that you fast during traveling. I said, yes, that's authentic hadith. But bear in mind, you can't extract a rule from one hadith if you don't know the whole picture. That's why extracting rules is not easy, not for anyone who read one ayah, one hadith, Bismillah, become mufti, big Maulana. It's not like this. Because the ulama discuss, there's a lot of sometimes contradiction between a hadith. That's where the ulama now, they're expert in this. This hadith has a context where Rasulullah was in traveling, and Rasulullah always, he fast during the traveling. He himself, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So one day he's traveling, and he find out that some people, they're very tired because of that fasting. So he said, don't fast. After a while, some people, they don't listen, they fast, and they found one man who is just about to die because of this. Rasulullah said, "Laysa min al-birr." It's not good to fast on traveling. It means if it lead you to this position. However, he himself, he always fasting during traveling. So that's, if you are ill or traveler, so it's this option out of His mercy, tabaraka wa ta'ala. You can break your fast and then you can make up that anytime. And when you make up your fasting, it's not obligatory to do it immediately after Ramadan. You can do it even after 10 months. And that out of the mercy also of this deen. Sometimes you are in the summer and you miss 3 days because you was ill. You can make up in winter. There's no problem with that. So the second ayah talk about someone who ill or traveler. Then the third ayah, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Talk about the relationship between fasting Ramadan and reciting the Quran. There's a strong connection. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala had chosen Ramadan to be the month that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would receive the first revelation. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Descend to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the cave of Hira in Laylatul Qadr in Ramadan. Now what's the connection? Why Allah had chosen this? Because there is a strong connection. Number one, when you fast, you become very spiritual. Because when you eat a lot, drink a lot, your desires come up. But when you are fasting, you are very humble. In that situation, when you read Quran, you'll understand it deeply. When you raise your hand for dua, you'll be very humble. That's number one. Number two, that the nights of Ramadan, where Allah Ta'ala revealed the Quran, it will be the time of Taraweeh and Qiyamul Layl, which all the Muslims come together in the masajid, in amazing environment, recite the revelation came down to Rasulullah in Ramadan. Ramadan also, when you fast and recite Quran in that position, you understand it fully and you are ready to implement the Quran. Because Ramadan teach you self-discipline, teach you to control your desires. This is one of the most important skills as a human if you have. As a human, if you have that self-discipline. You know, there's in late 60s, they did very famous that experience when one of the researchers, they called marshmallow. Did you hear this before? When there's some children, they come to a room and they give them one marshmallow. They say to them, you have two choices. Either eat that marshmallow right now, or if you wait 15 minutes, we'll give you another marshmallow. And they observe these children for 25 years to see, and they found out that those who are patient and wait for another marshmallow, they're more successful in their life. Because life is about self-discipline, to control yourself. It's just to dedicate yourself, because the exam is very soon. You don't go to the play there around. That's the life about. Akhirah also is about self-discipline. Temporary life, be patient, control yourself till you get to Jannah. The same idea. So, Siyam is to enhance this skill, to control ourselves. And we need this skill as all human beings and Muslims nowadays, because we live in a time that it's hard for people to control themselves. Why? Because advertisement is everywhere. Everything becomes easy. If you need anything to buy online, click. That's it. So it's just click. If you don't control yourself, if you come to any supermarket, you want to buy just one stuff and you come up with full trolley. How? Because all these companies, they try to implement the latest theory in psychology. That's why they study the consumer psychology, that they want to encourage you to buy. You'll come to the supermarket and you'll find that there is no clock. There's no clock in the supermarket. In the past, now everyone has his smartphone. Why don't look at the time? Take your time. And the first thing you will find vegetables and fruits. Because they know you put some vegetables, oh, I'm healthy now. I'm stick with my diet. After a while, you see some chocolate. Bismillah, because I took before healthy food, so it's not a problem. And then you will go around. And sometimes they always put you a music always very calm. You never find a music which is very hard and no. Music make you feel home. Stay, take your time. And when you go to the cashier, you'll find that the cashier is lower down. Why? There's some chocolate. That's not for you. That's for your children who come with you. In the cashier, they will cry, Mommy, I want one. You feel embarrassing. Oh no. Okay, take it. That's intended. They put it in a way that they know the situation. And sometimes one say, one is very serious. He comes just to buy some rice and left. He comes very serious. I know the place of rice. Every 3 months, they change the places. That's just for these people. They come, sometimes they make you, buy 3 and get 1 free. You know this collective something? Check price, please. Check price of the individual and the collective, because there is always also deceive you. Because you, 3, 4, you don't need it, why you buy it? It's just because this. Another thing is advertisement. There's some famous companies that your children will watch in the TV or internet. You have to buy it. Dad, I saw it in the internet. Khalas. You have to buy it. So we live in this environment. If you can't control yourself, there's a problem. One day, Umar ibn al-Khattab saw one of his sons came from the market. He asked him, what did you buy? Say, I buy this stuff. Umar said, did you need it? He said, no, but it's just like, it's okay. Umar said very profound statement. أَكُلَّمَا اشْتَهَيْتَ اشْتَرَيْتَ إِذًا أَنْتَ عَبْدُ نَفْسِكَ. Whatever you like something, you will buy it, then you are a slave to your desires. Anything you see it, you buy it, you don't need it, just because you can't control yourself. Fasting Ramadan and other fasting is for this purpose, to control ourselves. 15 hours, 19 hours, 16 hours, for 30 days, you control yourself for something halal. Halal food, and you can't eat it. Halal drink you want. And halal spouse. 30 days, then after that, anything haram, when you face anything haram, it's easy for you to say no, because you already say no to the halal stuff. That's the That's the wisdom behind the Siyam. So he now Ramadan with Quran, because in that status of self-discipline, you recite the Quran. So you will receive it in different way. Just try it. If you fast any Monday or Thursday, and during the Siyam, you recite the Quran, the way you receive the meal is different. When you're fasting, you are in high status in spirituality. That's why شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do last 10 nights i'tikaf. What's i'tikaf? Is to go and live in the mosque for 10 nights. Sleep in the mosque, eat in the mosque. Why? Just to dedicate himself for this sense of be close to Allah. Because sometimes we need it. In the Christianity before, there is some people, rahbaniyatan. They said we have to be close to Allah, we'll go to a mountain and I will live there alone. In our deen, we can't do that. But our deen, we have some times we have to dedicate ourselves and isolate ourselves from others. Not just in Ramadan. During the day, sometimes you need to sit with yourself, with dhikr. Just mention the dhikr and mention yourself, and then you can think about your journey towards Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do that i'tikaf. Nowadays, we have what I call it modern i'tikaf. There's some group of friends, they come to i'tikaf masjid, they brought a lot of fruits, a lot of food, all their mobile phones, they're very happy, interested. Taraweeh finish, big gathering. Till the Fajr, talking. We are i'tikaf. That's not i'tikaf. If Umar is there, he will do something. So that's not i'tikaf. That's just more than i'tikaf. I'tikaf is just isolation in Ramadan, just with dhikr and Quran. So the third ayah is about Ramadan and the Quran. The fourth ayah, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. Fourth ayah is about dua. Why the ayah of dua in the middle of ayatul siyam? Because the best time to make dua is when you are fasting. When you are close, humble to your Lord. That's the best time. The best time for dua is when you fast in Ramadan. When you read that adhkar and you reflect upon the Quran and raise your hand. That's special dua. So Allah said here, if my servants ask about me, I am near, I am close. In all the other ayat, in Baqarah and more, they say, if my servant ask you, tell them, say to them, except the ayah of dua, he removed the Prophet ﷺ from the scenario. He just, if my servant asks you, I am near. He didn't say, tell them I am near. Why Allah Tabaraka choose the name Qareeb in ayatul dua? Qareeb, it means near, it means close to you. Because the secret of dua is when you feel that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is closest one to you. When you feel that, that's the secret of dua. When you feel that He is the one who listens to you, He is the only one can solve your problem, the only one can help you in that difficult situation. That's feeling. That's what he mentioned, Qareeb. The wife of Imran knows that very well. She loved the name As-Sami'ul Alim. She used that twice in her conversation in Surah Ali Imran. Al-Sami', the all-hearing, Al-Alim, the all-knowing. Imra'atu Imran, the wife of Imran, the mother of Maryam alayhi salam. Allah told us her story, and her story is all about what she used to say to her Lord. That's her story about. She used to talk to her Lord in everything. رَبِّ إِنِّي نَذَرْتُ لَكَ مَا فِي بَطْنِي مُحَرَّرًا. Oh Allah, I'm pregnant and I have intention. If you give me a child, son, I will dedicate that son to serve Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. فلما وضعتها قالت رب إني وضعتها أنثى. When she gave birth, oh my Lord, it's girl. Oh my Lord, I will name her Maryam. Oh my Lord, protect her and her children. Everything. She talked to her Lord. That's because she feel Allah is qareeb. She feel that closeness. When we feel that, that's the best high status. Instead of spend 2 hours with your friend to talk about all your problems, you'll go and pray 2 rak'ah after Isha, alone. Switch off the light, no one there, and you pray properly and sit down and talk to Him. Oh Allah, I face this big problem. Oh Allah, you are the one who control everything. Help me. Oh Allah, I try this and this, but only you are the only one can help me. Oh Allah, I always promise that I will never commit a sin, but I always break my promise. Forgive me. Oh Allah, if I be in my grave, it will be like Jannah. Oh Allah, if I come to you in the day of judgment, will I be under the shade of your throne? Oh Allah, that type of talking is very important to feel that Allah is qareeb. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. So that's the 4th ayah of Ayatul Siyam. The 5th ayah is about fiqh issues. Is about that, what you should stop during the Siyam. 3 things. Eating, drinking, and if you are married, is to sleep with your spouse. These 3 things you should avoid during the day of Ramadan, from Fajr till Maghrib, because this is all about desires. Anything also, like sometimes people confuse of something. They don't break their siyam, but they thought it will break it. For example, you can brush your teeth. Even with this modern thing, in the strongest opinion, you don't have to go and buy from Islamic shop on miswak, and because I can't use this. No, because nothing will come here. Just be careful. You can, in the strongest opinion, brush your teeth all the day. You can take bath as much as you can. Some people, they thought, have misunderstanding. For example, you can, in the strongest opinion, go to the dentist. Because nowadays, in the dentist, they don't allow anything to come to your mouth, to come to your throat. You can, in the day, for example, if they go and take some blood for test, the strongest opinion, the majority of scholars, you can do it also. Siyam is about not eat, not to drink, not to do that desires. Stop yourself this to gain taqwa. To gain taqwa. So also the woman or the men, anyone who cook, he can taste if there is salt in the strongest opinion. Because usually when they toast, the salt is just from here. It's not something swollen. But when you taste it just for here, don't taste a lot. Bismillah, Shaykh said that. Tawakkalna ala Allah. Have to. So that's some misconceptions also. But the main thing here is, anything that you think it's break your siyam, you just need to ask. Because sometimes it doesn't break. Just people thought. The That's the fifth ayah. Fifth ayah also talk about i'tikaf. It's recommended in the last 10 nights to stay in the mosque. Either 1 night and day, or 2 nights, 3 nights, as much as you can. But the purpose here is i'tikaf, it's just isolation. For those who work, that's fine, because you can attain the purpose. Purpose is just come close to Allah. You can close to Allah and that's fine. Some people, they want to work, they come to i'tikaf, stay there, and they left for work and come back to masjid, that's fine also. So that's the fifth ayah. The last ayah, which is the sixth. You can tell me ayah number 100? Gone? Very good, mashallah, you are with me. 188, which we said that scholars, they said, is it from Siyam or not? And I support, yes, definitely it's from Siyam. Why they said, is it from Siyam or not? Because the ayah talk about something completely different. ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون. Don't consume the property or wealth of others wrongly. Completely different from Siyam. And he gives examples. Some people, they take a property of others and they know they are wrong. And when they go to court, either they go to a very clever solicitor and he try to play with the rules till they gain that case and they know it's not their property. Why he mentioned this? This ayah, after this ayah, different topic in Surah Al-Baqarah. يسألونك عن الأهلة, about Hajj, completely different. So this is between Hajj and Siyam. This ayah is from Siyam. Because Allah started the ayat of Siyam with لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, you may gain taqwa. This ayah is just an example if we gain taqwa or not. It seems, give us example of what is taqwa from our life. He said, if you fast Ramadan and you still consume and take property of others and wealth of others, it means you don't gain taqwa. And the example is in financial transactions. Because many people, they are very good in prayer, in fasting, even in zakah, in hajj. But when they deal with business, money is fitna. They became different person. They try to cheat, deceive, try to take anything not belong to them. So Allah said, that's the test. If you fast Ramadan properly, and He mentioned this ayah in the end, it means what's the result? If you fast properly, the result will become the best Muslim. You will never cheat, you will never deceive, you will never abuse anyone, you will never. Everyone will like to make a business with you because you are muttaqi. So this is the 6 ayat which only Allah mentioned Siyam Ramadan. So the last thing in Siyam Ramadan is every Ramadan end with Eid al-Fitr. And there is a Sadaqatul Fitr, which is a charity in the end of Ramadan. It means maybe your fasting has a lot of problems. Give poor people, then Allah will forgive you. Always giving others is a fundamental concept in Islam. Give others, Allah will give you. Help others, Allah will help you. Relieve the pain of others, Allah will relieve your pain. Very important. And others here is all the humanity, Muslims, non-Muslims, all the one. Anyone who need help, help him or her Allah will help you. Sadaqatul Fitr also, Yawm al-Eid, to make everyone happy in the day of Eid. Islam wants all the society be happy. If anyone who doesn't have any clothes or food, or spread this sadaqah so everyone will be happy. So the joy of Muslims, when everyone around them will be very happy, that's our joy. Muslim is not that person who is very excited because about himself. I don't care about my neighbors, about my society. That's not a Muslim. Muslim is always care about others, especially in this. So that's the Siyam. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala abdihi wa rasulihi sayyidina Muhammad.